Hey guys, it's project day, and today I am so blessed to be able to do something I've wanted to do for a very long time, and that is upgrade my trolling motor batteries to lithiums. And there's a lot of reasons you want to switch to lithium batteries. The biggest reason for me though is they're maintenance free. I am so sick of having to crawl into my bilge once a month to check the water levels in those old wet cell interstates. These are maintenance free. You set them in place, you never worry about them again. Another reason you want to upgrade to lithiums, the weight. I mean, I'm going to remove about 105 pounds of weight out of my bilge area today. I'm replacing 3 interstates that are about 45 to 50 pounds apiece with 3 Ionic lithium batteries that are 14 pounds apiece. So you can do the math there and you can see that there is a substantial difference there in weight. I'm really interested to see how the boat's going to handle with that less with the less weight on the back side of it, how it's going to handle, how it's going to turn or handle curves and that kind of thing. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I'm really just excited to be lucky enough to upgrade to lithiums today. I'll come back here and I'll show you what I got. But I chose to go with Ionic Lithium deep cycle batteries. And I did so much research over the last month and a half on these batteries, and I finally decided to pull the trigger. I do not want to call these a cheaper option because they're still very expensive. They're $450 a piece. You could find them places where they're a little bit cheaper. You can find a deal some places, but you know, every single thing that I've read about these, they have been phenomenal. Like, I've read nothing but 5-star reviews, nothing but 5-star reviews. So that's why I went with these. You have some other options for lithiums, but this is what I went with. This is what we're going to be installing today. And again, these are the 12-volt models, 50 amp hour batteries. And so this will be replacing these big old girls. I took these out. I took these out yesterday and getting ready to install my new lithiums. And as you can just see, look, these things are just so big and heavy. They're like 50 pounds each, and we're getting rid of a lot of weight today in my boat. And I did even have a screwdriver here because I was checking the water levels and making sure they were topped off and everything. And I'm just so glad I never have to do that again. I'm going to show you another reason I decided to go with these particular lithiums. This is so cool. These lithiums out of the box come with Bluetooth technology, which means I can sit here and monitor these batteries. Now, these batteries have not been on a charge yet. They're straight from the factory. You can come in here and connect to each individual battery, and you'll see that this battery came from the factory, from the distributor, at 74% charged. So that's really cool. I will be able to monitor all of my batteries from my boat as I'm going through the day. That's a really big thing for me. I'm a really big tech savvy guy. I work in the technology field, and I'm just all about technology, especially in fishing. And this is going to be really nice to monitor throughout the day. You see all kinds of just awesome details regarding these batteries on the water or through this app. I mean, just information overload, and it's just really nice to have. I'm not sure I'll ever use it, but if I need to use it, if I want to see how they're handling, if it's a really windy day, I'll be able to check with this Bluetooth app and to see how they're performing, see how everything's green, we're good. I can also check my charge levels while I'm probably sitting inside my house. It's just really cool to have. I'm gonna have a tablet as well. I'm actually gonna upgrade a little bit of upgrade at my console. I'm going to eventually put a tablet up there, so I'll be able to monitor this at the console while I'm driving down the river or the lake. It's just a really nice feature to have, and I'm looking forward to implementing that. So the very first thing that we had to do, and I've already done this, is we had to remove the current batteries. So that's a fairly simple process, but that was super heavy. So there's the empty spot where those big interstates were. They're actually so big. There was 2 there, and then I had 1 here. So you can see that's going to be a big space saver. I'll be able to have more room in my bilge for just any other thing I might want to put back here. So the very next thing we're going to do is we had to get a custom tray made. And so I found a company, Bass Boat Technologies, which is the same company that made my the mounts for my graphs at the console. They also make a tray specifically for these exact batteries. So here's the mount unopened, straight from FedEx. So I haven't even opened it yet. So this is going to be kind of an unboxing too. And that's our tray. Nice. It's metal, it's aluminum, welded. Got no complaints. There's no screws, there's that. Apparently if you want 5% off, you show 5. That's pretty cool. Now what we're going to have to do, I'm going to dry fit this before I screw down anything. I'm going to dry fit it in the bilge. I think that's the way we're going to put it. Plenty of space back here. This is a Triton 19 TRX. Plenty of space, I feel like. Put some 6 screw holes. Should be good. Okay, so yeah, battery in, dry fit before I start putting screws in. I think that's going to be fine. All right, so before I actually mount anything into the boat, I want to put a small piece of foam in this tray, and that'll just, you know, help dampen it'll give it some shock resistance, and it'll give it those batteries kind of a more, I think it'll make it a little bit more secure. You don't have to do this, but I just want to do it. And all I can find, I would recommend like a 1/4 inch piece of foam, but all I could find at my Lowe's was a it's just basically a very, very thin piece of foam mat you put in like your truck bed or toolboxes or anything like that, and it's kind of just reduces the noise and gives it some shock resistance. So I'm actually going to cut 2 or 3 pieces here, 2 size, and stick them inside this tray. Again, just to give it a little bit of shock resistance for those batteries. All right, so I got my foam cut out. I cut out 4 sheets, and it roughly made it about 1/2 inch thick or so. And so that's going to be a plenty. And like I said, it's just to provide some shock dampening and just to help them sit down a little better, I think. All right, so here they are. I do see there's a little bit of play here. And that might not seem like much, but when you're in a boat and you get in rough water, these batteries are going to want to shift. There's about 3/4 of an inch right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut another piece of foam and just shove into each side of here. Just to give it a little bit more protection. These batteries were fairly expensive, so you want to do all you need to do to protect them. But the good thing about these batteries is they say they're shock resistant out of the box anyway, but better be safe than sorry. All right, we're getting ready to go in. I mean, and the biggest tip I can give you when you're drilling into your boat is just always make a pilot hole. It'll make screwing in the actual screws a lot easier. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to drill a few pilot holes, put 1 or 2 screws in, and then finish it up. Okay, she is mounted. All 6 screws. It is good and secure. I don't feel like she's going anywhere. We are strapped in, guys. I've also dry fitted my Minn Kota precision charger. We'll talk about that charger here in a minute. But we are strapped in. We've got it all locked down. It is, I mean, we're really, really close now. Working on making things really neat. I'm really big on that, just having neat stuff here. And yeah, so now we're going to hook up the actual trolling motor. First of all, make sure that thing is off. The power is definitely off. It's flipped to off. Triple check, it's off. We have a positive and a negative coming from the front and into this switch here. The negative needs to come down here to the bottom and switch on and go into, we're going to wire these up in series. So the way you do that is the hot wire, the red cable coming from the front needs to go to battery 1 positive here, and then the black cable, the ground, needs to come all the way down to the bottom battery, the low side, and go into the negative terminal. It's fairly simple from there, and then we'll need to jump battery 1 negative to battery 2 positive, and then battery 2 negative to battery 3 positive. So it's fairly simple once you do it a couple of times, but that's where we're at right now. And we're going to fire these up, and we are really close to being able to test these things out. Okay, we are all wired up in a series format. So just to kind of go over again what I did. First of all, yeah, I did hook the charger up. We'll talk about the charger in a second. We have positive, the red cable, which is the positive from the trolling motor, into battery 1 positive. We have the negative coming from the front of the boat where the trolling motor is, going into battery 3. And I got to tighten these up here in a second. Battery 3 negative. And then we have jumpers from negative to positive on batteries 1 to 2, and then negative to positive on batteries 2 to 3. So this is a series setup. This gets you a true 36 volts for your trolling motor. Now my charger here, now you might think you need a special charger for these lithiums, and they do make special chargers that are designed just for lithiums, but this is the Minn-Kota Precision MK460. I bought this last year. It is a phenomenal charger. It charges fast. It's been reliable. I like it. It is also compatible with lithium batteries in the AGM mode, which means when you cut these batteries on, there is a settings here that you can change your battery type. And so you change that battery type to AGM. For me, all 4 batteries of mine are going to be on this AGM setting, and then that will top off your lithium batteries as normal. So now I'm going to tighten down everything, and I'm going to actually put these on charge just to see, and we're going to monitor with the Bluetooth app how it does, looking at the charge levels. And then we're actually going to deploy the trolling motor and turn it on, see if we got power and all that kind of good stuff. So let's tighten up. Gotta get my socket wrench, tighten up the screws here. And I'm really big. You can see, as much as I can, I have made this as clean as possible back here. I got some tidying I got to do over there, and I'm going to tidy up over here a little bit and make everything really nice and neat and clean so I can look in here and see what I'm looking at. I think this is going to be really nice. All right, so here we go. Pointing over turn, I'm going to plug in, see what this charger does to these batteries. Then we're going to monitor it. Here we go. Oh, let me see what's going on in there. All right, she is at, see what that charger is going to do. Let's go look at the app and see what we got going on. All right, let's go check out battery 1. 74%. Now I guess we'll just sit here. It's his status on standby. Oh, it just said remain time 1 hour 1 minute, 1 hour 2 minutes. Charging, there we go, right there at the bottom. Bingo, right there, charging. Now that is cool stuff right there. Now it says remain time. I don't know, I guess that means remain time is until it's fully charged. Let's go check on these guys. Let's go check on battery 3. Charging. I know there's a glare there, but done in 56 minutes. Man, that's really cool. That is really, really cool. I do see though with this charger, that's my battery 1 is my AGM. 2, 3, and 4 are these trolling motor chargers, and what I'm seeing is it's staying on 25% charged. So it'll be interesting to see how this progresses, because obviously the batteries are not at 25%, they're at like 76. So we'll see how this goes. We're going to give it about an hour to let these charge up, and then I'll report back. All right, checking in. We are at 98% fully charged. The charger does indicate now that it's going up some, but it's still, it's at 50% it says, but we're obviously at 98%. It'll be very interesting to see if what happens when we get right to 100%. So I'll check back in when we're done. Okay, this is exactly what I wanted to see. My second trolling motor battery is now fully charged. And according to the app, it is now in standby mode. So 100% we're charged up. It did not take long, it took about an hour or so. The other two trolling motor batteries, if we look at trolling motor battery 3, it says at 100%, but it's just like topping off. You can see, because now in there, it says it's at 75%. So it's topping off. We're gonna leave them going until they all start blinking, but they are fully charged. Now is the fun part, you know, now we get to actually go try these things out and to see how they handle, to see how they do with the trolling motor, and to see how my boat responds to the reduction in weight. It's going to be exciting to see. All right guys, I am out on the Pamlico River today in Washington. It's the day after I installed this. I did deploy it at the house and I verified everything was running. I turned it up to like 90, make sure it looked like it was going to be 90 power wise, and looked good at the house. Got it deployed now, and I trolled around the boat ramp just a minute, and everything seemed normal. So I'm going to put in a full day. It's 6:48. I'm probably going to put in at least 8 hours a day, and I'm not going to be running that much. I'm going to put everything I got into this these trolling motor batteries to give them a real test. And while I'm sitting here, I was going to pull up this app again, and I was going to check my batteries. I checked them this morning before I left, and they were still at 100%, so they didn't lose any juice overnight. Right now, battery 1 is on 99%. So that was just me trolling around a bit. So we'll see how it goes today. Let's check battery 3 just to check a couple of them, still 99%. So I'm going to run them through their paces today, and we'll see how it goes. I'm also curious to see how my whole shot's going to be. So a lot of stuff to test today, but I'm going to do a lot of fishing. I'm going to put a fairly strenuous test on these batteries today. Got a little school of fish up here. I'm about positive I'm about to catch one. I mean, that's too damn easy. Look at that. Now that's a daggone Go River chunky fish right there, fellas. And I called my damn shot too. That's a chunky fish. Look at that. That is a beautiful Pamlico River fish. God, called my shot and everything. Okay, so I've been fishing for 4.5 hours. I haven't been in a lot of wind. I haven't been in a lot of heavy current, but I mean, I've honestly kept it on my my old treks on somewhere between 2 and 4 all day, and I've had plenty of power, plenty of juice. The biggest thing though, I'm sitting at, after 4.5 hours, I've got 94%. I mean, that's pretty good after 4.5 hours, even not being heavily used. So I'm impressed so far. It's good. This Bluetooth app is the best thing about it. Like I mean, it just makes sense. Like you need that. Like it's a big, I mean, it's really handy to have. I also have a tablet here. I keep track with it on my tablet as well. So it's really beneficial. They seem really powerful. Might be a little bit of a placebo effect, but I feel like it's a little more powerful. Like I feel like it's the 4 power. If I put it on the old treks on 4, Now it just feels like I have more power on 4. And you know, with the old wet cell batteries, it just felt like I had to dial it up a little bit more to get the same amount of power. That might just be a placebo effect, but who, you know, I don't know. As far as the way the boat handles, the whole shot honestly seems about the same. I can't tell any difference in a whole shot. I do have a full tank of gas though. The cornering though, honestly, it feels a little better in the corners. It does. I did a couple of hairpin turns there. It feels good, and it feels good. I have not tested top speed out. I probably won't. I'm just not a big speed guy. I mean, eventually I will, but not today. So yeah, I'm liking them so far. We're only 4.5 hours in. We'll see what it looks like around 3 or 4 o'clock, and I'll report back then. All right, guys, that's gonna do it. Let me see what time it is. It is 3:15. I started like at 6:50. So I mean, we're looking like at least 8.5 hours a day on the water, so which is a full tournament day plus some. And I gotta tell you, man, just a day of, after one day of hopefully what is many days with these Ionics, I'm impressed. Like, I really like them. I want to correct something I said earlier. I said before that my whole shot seemed the same. I actually like went out in the middle of the river and I really tried the whole shot, and I'm down to like 3/4 of a tank of gas now. And actually, when I put my foot down into it, I can actually, yes, tell the nose of the boat doesn't go up as high anymore. So it does actually get out of the hole a little bit quicker, which is really cool, because now I don't have to be in such, I can be in a little bit shallower water to get on plane. That's really cool. I like that. So the whole shot is better. I don't know how much better. I don't want to give a percent, but it is somewhat better. The boat is lighter. I could tell it does corner a little different, but it's a good thing. It also doesn't feel like, it feels like I can get into a little bit shallower water now, because I've just was like doing some fishing in about 1 foot of water. So overall, I'm really impressed after one day's use, and I like them. I like them a lot. Here's the big thing though. This afternoon, the wind picked up, and I actually went and got in the wind and the current, and I stood on it a lot this afternoon from like 12 to now. I did come back in here to this pocket to see if there's any fish spawning back here, but I fished it really hard. I stood on it. I actually even made a really long troll that was probably several hundred yards long, because I was crossing over a bay. So I got on them hard, and they held up good. The real thing now though is I'm getting ready to check to see what that battery percentage is after 8.5 hours of fishing. And I didn't run much, so 8 hours of fishing, 8.5, I probably ran 30 minutes. So I probably fished 8 hours a day, and you know, was on the big motor 30 minutes overall. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm going to open up the app here. Let's have a look. All right, let's try trolling motor battery 1. 84%. 84%. And we're still at 13.3 volts. I mean, that's so good. That's so awesome. 84% of your batteries left. I'm totally digging it. Let's try battery 2. They should be identical. 85%. Okay. I think trolling battery 1 does get the brunt of the work in a series setup. Battery number 3, 85%. So that's true. Battery 1 takes a little bit more of the heat than batteries 2 and 3 in a series setup on your trolling motor. So that's that. I mean, I'm impressed. You know, I really like them. I think they were an investment, almost like everything on your bass boat. You have to look at it like an investment, and that's what I did. This was an investment for me. Is it gonna help me put more fish in my live well? I don't know, but it's, you know what, the big thing is, I don't have to worry about them anymore. They're back there. I never have to check the levels on them again. My boat performs a bit better. Only thing I didn't check is top speed. Maybe I can report back later on that. You know, this is just a one-day review. The real test of these is how they're going to be performing in a year from now. Are they going to hold up? What if they won't take a charge after a year? The good thing about it is they have a 5-year warranty, so that's good. So I feel pretty good about them. I feel really good about them. I feel really good about the purchase. I feel like it was worth the money. So that's where we are now. Hopefully I can still say the same after a year. I'm glad I made the purchase after a year, or 5 years for that matter. So everybody likes ratings, and what do you rate things out of 1 through 10? Everybody likes that kind of stuff. If I have to give these a rating, I would give them probably 9.5 out of 10. So 9.5 out of 10. And now, what am I taking off for? There is one small thing I really don't like about these batteries, and that is the terminals. The terminals are recessed inside of the battery a little bit, and I could not configure my battery cables and my charger cables the way I really wanted to, because the size of the connectors on the battery cables and the recessed square that is inside of the Ionics. That's being super nitpicky, but that's really the only negative I found about them so far after 1 day's use. And again, hopefully after 1 year, 5 years, even longer, I can give them the same rating. I like them. Like I said, glad I made the investment, and that's that. Appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully this will help you make a good financial decision to go with Ionic. I would if I was you, and you had that cash to spend on them. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you found this review and install video helpful. Hopefully now you can make an educated decision, and maybe you can see why I think you should go with Ionic if you're looking to get into lithium batteries. Appreciate you watching, and I'll see you on the water again real soon.